Hi everyone, it has been a while since I've done any sort of update on this channel. Most of the reason is because I've been super busy with 4 kids, and I think it's been close to 2 years ago now. I launched a YouTube channel for little girls' hair for my daughter who's now 4. We started it when she was 2, and we do tutorials over there. So if you want to follow us there, you can follow us at Easy Toddler Hairstyles. I also have some exciting news. I think the last time that I really vlogged, I was pregnant with number 4, but we are expecting baby number 5. This is our caboose baby, and I am super excited, although I must say that it's been really hard. I wanted to do a pregnancy update. I am almost 14 weeks, so I'm 13 plus 4 today. And I just feel like when I do these updates, it's a good way for me to journal and remember everything for when I look back. So honestly, each of our pregnancies has taken a little bit longer to get pregnant. My first and second pregnancy, it was like first month and second month. And then my daughter, it was 4 or 5 months. And then our last one was about a year with a miscarriage along the way. And then this baby, we went kind of back and forth if we should have another baby, and my husband was like, well, if you want to try, then we probably should do it sooner rather than later, and I kind of agreed. And so we started trying when my son was like 10 months. It was like right when I got my period back, so I never went on any sort of birth control, and it took us like, what, 10, 11 cycles to get pregnant. And so I think for me, stress is a big factor, because when I'm stressed out and I'm testing and aware of when I'm ovulating, it just makes everything worse. And I think it makes it harder for me to get pregnant. So this year we built a house and we closed the end of November, and December we were moving in, we had Christmas, and getting pregnant was like the farthest thing from my mind. So when January rolled around and I realized that I was due for my period and it hadn't come, I was pleasantly surprised to find out that we were pregnant. Like with all my pregnancies, I really feel pretty good like the first month after I find out. I know some women get sick right away, but it honestly doesn't hit me until 7 or 8 weeks. And if anything, I have been so incredibly tired. Like, I don't think I have ever been so tired with any of my pregnancies as I have with this one. Another thing is, as you know, I'm an ultrasound tech, and that can be kind of a blessing and a curse. So when I could first see the gestational sac for the baby, it was really low in my uterus, and like right next to the cervix. And quite honestly, I thought I was losing the pregnancy and that it wasn't going to be viable. So I decided to make an appointment and go in and see my doctor earlier than normal. I went in at 7 weeks, and by 7 weeks, the pregnancy was starting to come up a little bit, even though it had implanted low, and I could see a baby and a heartbeat. And my OB really didn't seem that concerned, even though I had been preparing myself to miscarry for several weeks. He said, if anything, because of where it implanted, I might have to deal with placenta previa. So my placenta is forming now that I'm like close to 14 weeks, and it is forming over the cervix, so it may come up, but it's interesting that I might actually have placenta previa. We'll wait several more weeks to see how that looks, but I have C-sections anyway, so if I do end up having it, I just hope that I won't bleed and that everything else will be uneventful. So before I got pregnant, I had been working out probably 5 to 6 days a week, strength training, cross training, running. I had signed up for a half marathon, which I ran last month, and I was feeling really pretty good. Like I said, that first month, a week or 2 before my half marathon, I started feeling kind of yucky, and even though I was tired, I was kind of pushing through it. I got done with the half marathon at 10 weeks, and I was really proud to have run that at 10 weeks. If anything, I had to stop for a few more bathroom breaks, but it went really well. That week between week 10 and 11, I started to feel like really sick, and I'm not talking like just morning sickness. I don't know why they call it morning sickness, because I feel like it's around the clock. So I just started feeling nauseous around the clock. And with all of my other pregnancies, I've been able to throw up, and then I feel better and have relief for a while. And it's so weird this time around because I am constantly nauseous, but I can't throw up. And so there are so many days where I just don't feel like doing anything, or I wish that I could throw up to get a little bit of relief. I know that they say that morning sickness is a sign of a healthy pregnancy, which I am totally all about and totally excited about, but I really just feel like I need some relief. So my doctor gave me a prescription for Phenergan that I have been taking as needed, and then I also found a product by Dramamine, that's Dramamine Naturals, and it's just ginger root. And I feel like that's actually helped a little bit. If anything, if I just continue to eat throughout the day, it kind of curbs that nausea to the point where I feel like I can function. So as it's my 5th child, I am showing. Like, I feel like maybe, you know, 8 to 11 weeks-ish, I was just really bloated and I could kind of suck it back in. And now at almost 14 weeks, I feel like I can't suck it in. I just feel like I still have split abs or diastasis recti, where your abs come apart during pregnancy. Mine never fully go back, and they probably won't unless I get them surgically repaired. And so everything tends to fall forward. So I'll give you a little belly shot in just a second. I think I started this pregnancy around the same weight that I started Nova's pregnancy, which was like 146, 147. At my last doctor's appointment, I was 152, I think. So total weight gain so far is about 5 pounds, which is very obviously just food because the baby weighs very little. I guess I have more blood volume in my body now, but baby weighs what, like an ounce or 2 at this point, so pretty tiny. So I'm gonna try really hard to do these updates every 2 weeks. I feel like with every child that you have, or every pregnancy, that it's harder and harder to keep track. I don't know if it's just because life is so busy and I have more kids, or I just am older and I forget. Speaking of which, I'm officially advanced maternal age for this pregnancy. So that's fun, right? It's a whole new set of risk factors. I also have an idea of what the baby is. At 13 weeks, I think I had a pretty good idea of what the baby is, but at 12 to 13 weeks, both a boy and a girl still kind of have a dangle. And so it could look like a girl, but there could be like a little dangle hiding, but there could be a dangle there so it looks like a boy that actually comes in to look like a girl. So I feel like I sort of know at 13 weeks, but I feel around 15 weeks I will be more confident in saying what I'm having. So hopefully I'll be back around 16 weeks for an update. Since I'm close enough to 14, I'm gonna call this my 14-week update. I'm gonna give you guys a sneak belly shot really quick. So here is my legitimate little 14-week belly. I feel like I really need to start pulling out the maternity clothes. I also feel like this is what I looked like at 20 weeks with my first muscle memory, split abs, whatever you wanna call it. My body's showing earlier. So I will be back in a couple weeks with another update. Until then, let's hope I start feeling better, and thanks for following along.